So we're now in Emeishan. It's a very easy train ride from Leshan. You just got to make sure you get off the Emeishan station, not the Emei station. Very easy to make that mistake. So we're now in the, just walking up to the tourist area, past this very nice waterfall, and the pagoda with some elephants outside of it. And today's plan is we're just going to have a look at some of the temples in the low-lying area, and then tomorrow we're going to go up the mountain itself. Now the reason we can't do the mountain today is the entry pass only lasts 2 days, so we can't go in until tomorrow. We're now in the Baoguo temple, just wandering through the grounds. It's another very, very pretty temple. This one's quite a big one, very well looked after. Not sure quite what there is to see, but we're just wandering around having a nice time seeing what's here. The mountain itself is sort of just up the slope, you can see here, but it's shrouded in mist right now, so there's not a great deal you can see. And here we have some gold statues in this building here. And you'll be able to hear on the air some monks chanting. But it's a very peaceful and pretty place. We're now walking up a very pretty bamboo-lined trail to somewhere called the Fuhu Temple, which is another one of the temples in the scenic area. And we're just seeing how far we can get before we need to buy an entrance ticket into the park itself. But it's a very pretty walk. We're walking down next to a river, which you can see down there. So we've now walked up some more slopes, and we're now at some fair called the Fuhu Temple, which is another one of the main temples in this area. And you can see the lovely temple in front of us, and the trees of the mountain rising behind. And you can see the large Buddha inside of the temple. Here we have the Buddha, and a very majestic Buddha it is. So here we just have a quick view across the temple complex with one of the small hills surrounding the mountain in the distance. As you can see, it's a very misty day, but it's still very pretty, and it was supposed to rain today, but it's been absolutely fine. The weather's quite pleasant. We're now on a little shuttle bus taking us to one of the stops on the mountain, a place called Wuxiangang. It's quite easy to buy tickets for this. You get the tickets in the bus station, and they cost, we got a student price, so it's about 80 RMB for an entry ticket, and it's 20 RMB from the bus to this stop. So we're going to get to this stop, then we're going to walk up the hill and have a visit to some temples, get a cable car back down to the road, and then another bus right to the top of the mountain. We've now reached the Wuxiangang bus station, as you can see in the distance, and now we're just going to head up the mountain to the Wannian Pavilion and the Wannian Temple. It's about a 3-kilometre walk. It should take us about 3 hours to complete it. So this is the start of the walk up the mountain, and you can see the wonderful views we have access to. And we're now just going to walk along this rock covering underpass, and then we'll head up the mountain. So we're walking along this lovely little path with a clear stream to the side and a bamboo grove to the other side, and we can just see, if we go down here, a view along this river valley and the mountains behind it. And here we have a scenic area called the Twin Bridges with a pavilion, and you can see the Twin Bridges. And if we look down the way, there's a lovely clear stream running along the bottom of this valley, and it's eroded through the rocks. And you can see it's created these large gorges in the rock. Here we have the Wannian temple. It's another one of the temples up here on the mountain, and a very pretty one. And then we spin round. We can see back down the valley towards the Xinxin pavilion, and we'll just very carefully walk down these steps and go look at this pavilion. Now, all of the temples on this mountain, or almost all of them, have guest houses you can stay in, so it's sort of a shared bathroom situation. But if you wanted to trek around here, that's definitely a way of staying up on the mountain itself. And they all do, or almost all of them again do, a sort of vegetarian breakfasts and lunches, so if you get hungry it's quite easy to get food, and it's not overpriced or anything. It's quite reasonable. So here we have a view up one of these river valleys again, with the water flowing through it. And here we can walk up to the top of the Xinxin pavilion, which gives us a good view back down the valley. We're now starting to walk up a lot of steps up to higher elevations. You might be able to detect a slight haze in the air, so we're starting to get into the clouds. We're surrounded, but you can hear water on all sides, and it's feels a bit like you're walking through a rainforest, although it's just a little bit too nippy for that, really. Here we are at the Baoguo Temple, or the White Dragon Cave, depending on what map you're reading, and it's another lovely temple with the main room just through there and numerous Buddhas around. But this is just one of many temples you find up here in the hills. So this is one of the many lovely views you can get on this mountain, just seeing some of the peaks behind us, the clouds rolling over. And just in the foreground, it's one of the hostels slash restaurants, and they're all over up here. So if you did want to trek around and visit a few places, you definitely could do. Yeah, it's just lovely seeing the clouds go over the hills. So here we are, emerging from under this tunnel, up into the light. Now you can see the sedan chairs that you can take up and down this hill. They're very expensive, but if you want a nice easy way of doing things, it's definitely an option. So here we are at the top of this bit of the mountain, and we're at the Wannian temple, which is another one of the temples that you can visit up here. And if you ignore the people being very noisy, the tour guides, I think, ironically, it's a really beautiful temple again. This is sort of the biggest and the main temple in the area, apart from the one at the Golden Summit, which we'll be visiting in a little bit. We'll just have a look at the views. It's starting to rain a little bit now, but we are pretty much in the cloud line, so it's only to be expected. And you can get a view up the hill with all the cloud and mist coming over it. Absolutely stunning. Now apparently the sort of winter time is the best time to come, because it's quite empty on the mountain and the weather's reasonably good. And although it's supposed to rain heavily today, the weather has been, generally speaking, very good. And here we have a view down the mountain with the clouds swirling over it. And here we'll just stand for a moment and listen to the nice music playing while the mist swirls around the temple. And now we're done with this temple, and we'll be heading down to the cable car and to find some lunch before we head to the top of the mountain. So we're now heading down the mountain, and it's a bit misty and wet in this cable car, but it's very pretty. View of Juliet. Yeah, you get a bit of view out window. But it's just a bit of a quick way down the mountain, and when we're at the bottom we can get the bus up to the top.